Hi guys, this is your host Nikasha, mental health consultant. This channel is all about mental health, and on each video I give you guys tips on how you can be intentional in improving your mental health and well-being to achieve the vision you have for your life. So guys, thank you for joining me here on my relationship fails playlist. And each video in this playlist, I'm going to give you guys some of the common reasons that relationships do not work. Before we begin, I just have a little confession. I don't actually believe that if you go through a relationship, whether it succeeds or does not work out, that it's really a fail. If you took that experience to allow you to grow, you learned about yourself, you learned about others. If that's the case, then it's not a real fail. This video is about adaptation, the failure to adapt. When an organism fails to adapt to an environment that requires adaptation, that organism will inevitably die. And relationships are no different. Now guys, I want to be clear in saying that this pertains to relationships where you yourself see value, where you feel like there's true potential for you guys to work out and you truly want to be with this person. It's not going to be very helpful or beneficial to make those changes and adapt and put forth that level of emotional investment if you don't see potential in the future of this relationship. Now, it's one thing for others to expect us to adapt who we are at our core, and it's another for them to expect us to adapt our behavior. Adaptation is a very realistic expectation. You know, the same way that it's not realistic for others to expect perfection from us is the same way that it's unrealistic for us to expect others to accept just any kind of behavior from us. So you'll see online people posting things like, if you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. Granted, there is some validity to that. But at the same time, let's imagine you're at work and you say to your employer, if you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. That's not gonna fly. You're not gonna have your job for much longer. And it's the same thing with relationships. If that's the attitude you have with your partner, then you're likely not gonna keep your partner very long either. Now, granted, when you're in a relationship, your partner is going to go through things just like you'll go through things. There'll be times when your partner is going through grief, your partner may be dealing with a health issue, your partner may be dealing with stress. Let's say they're stressed out at work. And it is important that you can stay with your partner and support them through that the same way that you'd want them to support you through it if you're having a tough time, right? Now, with that said, it's very important that you're making an effort to give your partner your best, okay? And I mean sustained effort. Sometimes people, when they know the relationship is, struggling or the partner's unhappy with them, they'll make some changes temporarily. And when things are good, they'll just kind of revert back to old behavior. That does not work, guys, okay? It may work in the temporary, but it's not gonna work long-term. So it's important that we're giving that sustained effort and putting forth our best with our partners. The same way we can't expect our employer to just accept anything from us, it's the same way we can't expect our partners to just accept any kind of behaviors from us and we're treating them just any kind of way, especially when that behavior goes against their values, what's core to what they feel they need in the relationship, or it's disrespectful to them to the point where they feel like it's eroding their sense of self-dignity and self-worth. Same way an employer-employee relationship is transactional is the same way a dating relationship is transactional. And we don't always get to choose the value. So let's say, for instance, you open up a store and you mark a shirt for $80. Your customers come into the store and they don't feel that it's worth $80. Either you'll have to adapt your prices accordingly or you're not going to be able to sell that shirt. Now, another option is that perhaps that particular set of customers are not the right fit for you. That neighborhood is not compatible for you, right? Maybe you need to go to another area where that's the sense of fashion or style that they value. So if that's happening, for example, in your relationship, then it can mean that maybe that person is not compatible with you. But especially in a situation where you are not able to give them what they're looking for, emotional capacity is something that we have to consider when it comes to relationships. Perhaps your partner values emotional maturity. If you don't have that capacity as yet, then the relationship is not compatible at this point in time, okay? Now, going back to the store example, Your customers are the ones determining the value of that shirt. Just like in your relationship, your partner is determining the value of what you're giving. Let's look at that in the context of a relationship. Let's say you prefer to demonstrate love through physical affection, but your partner receives love and needs to receive love through acts of service. Now, your partner may appreciate your physical affection, but if they don't feel that they're seeing acts of service from you or that they're receiving enough acts of service from you, then they may feel that you're not bringing value to the relationship. Now, it's going to be important that you're able to demonstrate to your partner love in the way that they receive it, in the way that they value. Now, that's going to require some adaptation from you. It doesn't mean that you have to change who you are at your core as far as your value for physical affection. It just means that for this relationship to succeed, you need to demonstrate love to them in the way that they need. Now, if you guys are unable or unwilling to adapt, then it means that this relationship is just going to die. It's not going to work, okay? It means that, you guys just aren't compatible. It's not that you are a bad person or that your partner's a bad person. It just means that you are not compatible because your values don't line up. Okay guys, so that wraps up today's installation of why relationships fail. Take a look through this playlist and click on the next video where I'm going to reveal yet another common reason why relationships